Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first and foremost, the overall market is having a slight pullback as we do see Bitcoin nearing the 20.5K region. We could come down as low as like roughly the 20K mark before we have a nice impulse back up, or we might lose 20K altogether. So that is what I'm actually looking forward to seeing right now, is just kind of, seeing where we go over the weekend. We do know that weekends are usually volatile. We do have the weekly candle close coming up. So that's what I'm really kind of eyeing right now. On the 24-hour span, we do see some altcoins still up a little bit, but there's not too much green right now in this market. On the 7-day span, though, we do see Quant still up about almost 30%, Avi up almost 23%, and a few other tokens following slightly behind. But ultimately, not too much exciting moves happening right now. In fact, we are having a little bit, like I said, of a pullback, and that is what I'm actually kind of waiting to see. Get a little bit exhausted, just waiting to see like Bitcoin having a nice back, impulse up over like 21K. I know a lot of people are waiting for like 28K. We just really have to wait to see over the weekend. I don't really care for, weekend price action. I don't like to trade the weekend price action, but it is what it is. Now, with that being said, let's dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first and foremost, now this is not to make you guys panic or scared or anything like that, but I have been telling you guys to just be aware of some of these larger exchanges. I mean, like, I know that when we talk about like Coinbase or Binance, or even like FTX, right? A lot of people think that these are like the very safe exchanges just because they have so much volume, they're the most popular, they have like the most weekly visits, whatever. I just want you guys to understand that none of these exchanges are too big to fail. They could fail. They could easily fail. And right now we are seeing Coinbase shutting down their entire affiliate program. This is a major red flag. I fear that a liquidity crisis is on the horizon. Yes, this could simply be a result of cost-cutting efforts, but they aren't, willing to even pay $5 for a new user. Feels strange to completely shut down the program. What's their LTV of a user? And I think it was like $60 per new account, by the way, in regards to like how much it cost for them. But ultimately, what I really want to say is like, it looks like Coinbase has been cutting costs. Like, we've seen them get rid of the Coinbase Pro feature. Like, that's gonna be getting gone by the end of this like year. So that's what we're watching for as well, just from Coinbase. But a lot of these exchanges, for the most part, are running low on liquidity. I've actually shared my thoughts on this with Uphold, right? Uphold has been like one of the major supporters of, XRP, and it has been one that I personally have supported for a while, but lately I've actually started to move away from them because I cannot stand the lockups of like crypto. Like, you can't even withdraw like Casper, for an example, off of their exchange, or even HBAR. So I don't trust any exchanges that are like that, simply because it gives me a fear of like, there's not enough liquidity backing their assets that they're basically giving out, which means they're essentially doing IOUs on their exchange, which I do not like at all. With Coinbase, are these major red flags? Sure, they are. But like, it's not like it's a confirmation that they're running low on liquidity, or like, they're running out of money, or they're insolvent, etc. But I will say this: get your coins off of these exchanges. I've said it time and time again, especially if you are going to be here for a while. I would make sure that you are pulling all of your coins, all of your crypto, all of your NFTs, etc., off of exchanges, off of decentralized exchanges. Just get them into a wallet of some sort. I personally utilize Ledger. If you guys don't want to grab one off of my link, you guys are more than welcome to buy one off of my link down in the description below or in the comments below. If you guys don't want to utilize my link, that's totally fine. You can just go to ledger.com. Just make sure that you are not purchasing from a third party, because of course it can be tampered with. But any way that you are trying to store your crypto in a cold storage, do it now. I'm just going to say that, one last time officially. But also, we have seen another crypto exchange, crypto payments gateway, Coin Payments, is ceasing, operations in the USA, and advises users to withdraw funds before July 19th. A lot of these, exchanges, I know that like Coin Payments is an extremely large exchange. I don't even think that it's on this list, so no, it's not. But again, we have been seeing a large a major amount of news coming out around these exchanges basically going insolvent. Individuals' money basically, getting burnt, if you will. And I want you guys to understand, like, even with the Celsius, class action lawsuit, like, a lot of individuals are not going to get paid back. We've seen this problem, arise multiple times in the past, and I kind of always compare it to, like, the Wolf of Wall Street. Like, Jordan Belfort still has not paid back any of the debt to a lot of those people. Like, there's been some money sent, but, like, the losses that have been accumulated, like, none of those individuals actually got paid back the full amount. So, don't expect to get your money back from these major exchanges, at least in the short term, like maybe a long, long time down the road. But even then, it's wishful thinking. But the problem that I do see arising with a lot of these exchanges and with the exchange news is that we have been seeing like around like Celsius Network, around like, other exchanges as well. It's just like simply the idea that it puts a major target point on these exchanges as well from the SEC. For an example, we do see here, I've been a huge critic of Gary Gensler, but have never accused him of being dumb. He's very smart and cunning. As I discussed with CV Payne, it took Gensler a year to admit Bitcoin is not a security. He said he is not comfortable calling any other token a non-security. Why? And we do see down here, because he's planning on suing an exchange or two for selling unregistered securities. He will take the position that everything except Bitcoin is a security, or possibly also allow Ethereum to be grandfathered in based on Hinman's speech. And of course, we do see down here, I wouldn't be surprised if Gensler finally gives in on a Bitcoin spot ETF around the same time that he files a suit against an exchange or exchanges. This will cause, the Bitcoin maxis to celebrate and support the suit against altcoins. He's setting the stage. And we do see down here, Gensler SEC can use exemptive authority to regulate, crypto. And yeah, I think that we are seeing a major problem arise right now. Like, everybody is looking at like Voyager and they're looking at the Celsius situation. And, yes, it's extremely rough for like the individuals that did have their money on those exchanges and stuff. But, we also have to look at the, cascading factors behind it as well that will bleed into this market currently. I've said this even with like the Luna situation, right? It allowed for a major spotlight to be put on stablecoins, and now like we're seeing a major rush on regulatory, requirements around stablecoins themselves. And, we're seeing a problem rise right now, again, around the exchanges. I think that exchanges are going to be targeted going forward from the SEC. And I definitely agree with Johnny Deaton on this. I do think that Gary Gensler, he's not dumb. He definitely has a plan going forward. We don't know exactly what that plan is, but I would say like this seems logical in the sense of like him, taking a position with, Bitcoin basically being not a security. It's being, basically deemed that. And Ethereum will essentially be grandfathered in based on the Hinman speech, as he is saying here. And then, next comes up, major cases against, altcoins, against exchanges. We're going to see a major attack on crypto going forward. And we also do see here, this is, we basically seen this happen on the 12th. The reason why I bring this back up is because of what just happened. So first off, this is confirmation that we will see the Hinman emails. Judge Nepern basically tore apart every SEC argument for attorney-client privilege of the Hinman emails. The funny thing is that once we've seen this, crypto Twitter and even crypto YouTube erupted with some massive bullish, videos about how a settlement is on the horizon, etc. The funny thing is that since then, we've also seen this. United States SEC Commissioner Allison Herron-Lee has stepped down from her position. So this is also a fairly large update because, again, a lot of these SEC commissioners, like even going back, I think it was like a month ago or so, we've seen two major, priority individuals within the SEC step down as well. And I think that this is, them preparing for the inevitable. Like when we really kind of look at this case against Ripple and XRP, or even like the library case, for an example, it has been going on for far too long. Over $100 million wasted on absolutely nothing. And we actually do see here, like the fact that Ripple has spent $100 million on legal fees in their battle against the SEC is insane. What a waste of time and money. All the SEC needed to do is come up with some sort of guidelines for crypto, let people build and collect taxes. And we do see here Clayton will go down as the greatest lost, opportunity of all time. With him, Elid Roisman and Hester Pierce, he had the votes to get it done. He could have passed a safe harbor, given companies like Ripple guidance with set markers to meet with in 5 years and watched innovation flourish. And the funny thing is that we also seen like Hester Pierce, which is an SEC commissioner as well, talk more so about this case and say like, everything that the SEC has done so far has been completely wrong. Like, she has criticized, Gary Gensler and even Clayton about this entire situation going on within the SEC. And I do completely agree. Like, I think that this is absolutely nonsense. I mean, $100 million under the bridge that we'll never see. I mean, like, this is taxpayer money as well. Like, not only just like from Ripple's side, this isn't tax money, but like from the SEC, like they just got, I think it was like $2 billion from the government to continue funding. And it's just like, why are we even wasting money on this nonsense? But also, listen closely to what Brad Garlinghouse has to say here.
The headline for me is, I feel like it looks good. In large part, I think it's very clear, and the more that has come out, the facts are on our side, and I think it's more and more clear the law is on our side. But we have spent, I mean, one of the things when this is all said and done, I mean, we will have spent over $100 million on legal fees fighting the SEC. And the dynamic there is, in my opinion, the SEC bullies companies into settlements because they can't afford to fight. And the reason I think this fight is so important isn't just for Ripple. It's really for the whole industry. It was literally 4 years ago this week that Bill Hinman, the director of corporate finance at the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, gave a speech saying that ETH was not a security. And by the way, let me be clear. I do not think ETH is a security. I don't think XRP is a security. But at the time, we viewed this as, isn't it great that 4 years ago, we're starting to provide some leadership and some clarity. And I viewed this as actually a very positive sign. I remember there's emails which now the SEC has read from our internal documents where I sent the team a note saying, hey, this is great news. We now have clarity of how the SEC is thinking about this.
And right there, by the way, what he just said is actually pretty detrimental to this entire case. When we really look at like the attorney, like I think it was like the fair notice defense, like that's what we really want to look into. Like the fair notice defense is probably one of the biggest arguments that Ripple does have next to the Hinman emails, because it basically confirmed like what they were doing is perfectly fine. Like it's fully legal. It's not going to harm them in any sort of way going forward. And guess what? It did a 180 on them, and it hurt them even more than they ever thought imaginable. But ultimately, yes, they are saying like, the law is on their side. The technology is basically on their side as well. Like everything is on their side within this. The facts are on their side. I would say like going forward, Ripple is going to continue to flourish, and they will continue to fight this suit. And similar to what he said, like, the SEC doesn't have the budget to continue to fight. They, try to bully these, cases into a settlement. And, Ripple is not giving up at all. But let's listen to the rest of this.
And they used some parameters around decentralization and what have you. And look, the fact that 4 years have gone by and we still don't have clarity about how the SEC is going to say what is and is not a security. And worse, actually, now the SEC, the current chair, Gensler, is really walking back the statement around ETH, and that he has been asked directly, is ETH a security? He won't answer the question. Like, how can we be competitive in the United States in an industry where a primary regulator will not provide that clarity? The headline for
and it is true, like it's been over 4 years now. There's no guidelines, there's no clarity at all. Like ultimately this entire, market could easily be, targeted because there's just no clarity at all around these assets, around this space. This is a big problem, especially if you want to see innovation thrive within, the United States. And of course, last but not least, we also do see over here, Attorney, Fallon got the transcript of the hearing from June 7th, and my old abused ears did not deceive me. The SEC attorney did say that Hinman's speech provided the market SEC guidance. The gambit has completely fallen apart for the SEC in read the fair notice defense. Exactly. This is what we want to pay attention to. Like, this is probably bigger than the Hinman emails by a very large aspect, because again, the fair notice defense not only allows for the SEC to lose this case against Ripple, but it also allows them to lose the case against Library and any case going forward around the entire crypto space. Because again, if we beat them on the fair notice defense, it means that they would need to usher in regulations around crypto and have clarity within the sector. But we do see here the purpose was to provide guidance to the market on legal issues before the SEC, and basically Director Hinman was given the market the views of how the SEC would treat digital assets under the securities laws. And I mean, like, this is a fairly large insight on like why everything that has happened to this date around like crypto is completely nonsense from the SEC side. And we also do see down here, in other words, the SEC tried to have it both ways and instead got it no ways. Like when you're cheating on your girlfriend and they both find out, and then, you have no girlfriend. Yeah, I mean, I love Jeremy Hogan's, analogies here, but yeah, I mean, it's 100% the truth. Like, they are not getting their way at all. And honestly, for the last like month or even 2 months now, we've been seeing the SEC getting shot down on pretty much every single occasion. So this is great to see, especially at this current moment in time. We really need, a major win from the crypto side of things, because the SEC is on a warpath right now, especially around like crypto exchanges. Because again, like these crypto exchanges, like it doesn't hurt the exchange as much as it hurts everyone who has their money on these exchanges. That's why I try to say, like, you got to get your crypto off these exchanges, because anyone who has their, their crypto on these exchanges will be the ones that get hurt the most when something like an SEC lawsuit comes up, or exchange goes insolvent, they don't have liquidity, you can't withdraw, you can't sell, etc. Like that's a big problem. So definitely get your crypto off of these exchanges. Definitely pay attention to the fair notice defense around the SEC. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter. Enjoy the free Discord down in the description below. As that's up to you all. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.